So, what do you guys think about this government shutdown? Like, what is going on? So, I really thought that they would actually come to some type of agreement. Sometimes it will go along for a bit and then they'll reach an agreement at the very last minute. So, thought that's what was going to happen. It's November 1st, nothing. So, what are you guys thinking at this point? So, there's so many different reasons why this could be really happening. Like, is this a preset for something else that is to come? Like, was this all organized for something bigger, such as martial law, maybe? If there's so much civil unrest, because after so long, okay, beginning of November, once it gets towards mid-November, especially end of November, and people still don't have food, what do you think is going to happen? So if there becomes a civil unrest, then that would be a cause for martial law, right? So I think maybe, just maybe, if it's not this, it'd be something else. But there's going to be a time where things are done in order to set the stage for martial law. And those that don't know martial law, let's see. You got to get this book, True Name of God and the Hidden Agenda. Tells all about it, tells what's good, things that are coming. It speaks about these things before they even happen. So get this book, True Name, God, and the Hidden Agenda. Okay, so as it explains here, let me go back to it because I lost it. Okay, so martial law, be the Britannica definition. Martial law, temporary rule by military authorities of a designated area in time of emergency, when the civil authorities are deemed unable to function. The legal effects of a declaration of martial law differ in various jurisdictions, but they generally involve a suspension of normal civil rights and the extension to the civilian population of summary military justice or of military law. Although temporary in theory, a state of martial law may in fact continue indefinitely. So this is kind of what we're already seeing with the ICE situations. And then Trump has the military in certain states for the crime. So has all this been set up for something bigger than what it really is? And it's just step-by-step move. We have the ICE, we have the military that's already in certain states for the high crime. Now the shutdown. There's also been talk of various Walmart stores closing, those facilities can be used for FEMA, or I've even heard of FEMA camps even. You just never know. So you got to pay attention to all these different things that are going on. It could be a setup for something bigger to come. Because, of course, when you think about it, if people don't have food, that can cause, of course, civil unrest and protests, and things can get really crazy. So we have to pray for our country. I pray that everyone has everything that they need when they need it. But pray for our country. But take a look at this video because it touches base on this and martial law. And you just have to be prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. So just take a look at this video. I'll be back.
Well, buckle up. We're getting ready to enter into a period of basically martial law. Trump is going to create the National Guard response force. Now, the thing is, it's crazy to me. I posted this on the YouTube feed, and people are like, yes, this is great. This is amazing. So I want to read this to you. It's kind of hard to read, but I'm going to read it to you, and we're going to talk about why you should not in any way be supporting this. Exclusive: Trump admin to create nation's first ever National Guard response force to begin training troops for nationwide civil unrest, with some troops specialized in chemical, biological, and nuclear scenarios. Memorandum for all states, territories, and District of Columbia. National Guard Response Force implementation. I'm going to link to this in the description so you guys can go read it. It's hard to read on here, but please go read this. Go read it in detail and understand that this is not a good thing. Like, you might be celebrating this because yes, is crime kind of running rampant in several cities in the United States, which is not good. And I think that should be dealt with, but that should be dealt with on a police level, a city police level. Because the problem here is if we create a federal police force, all right, so the National Guard goes in and we federalize the police. And Trump was saying this on the campaign trail. He was saying he wanted to have a federal stop and frisk campaign to where nationally police would stop and frisk people. But that's basically, that's authoritarian. That's like show me your papers in Germany. And those of you that are constitutionalists should realize this is not constitutional. We were warned about giving up a little bit of privacy for security by Benjamin Franklin, and we're going to end up with neither. And the thing is, like I said, I saw people in my comments when I posted this saying, this is good. I support this. Crime is out of control. Okay, like I said, I get that. But here's what you're not getting. Once we establish this power with the executive branch, all right? So I don't like Trump, but you may love Trump. You may trust Trump. You'll be like, this is what I voted for. Yes, Trump, Trump, Trump. And you're giving this power to Trump because he's going to fix it. He's going to make America great again. But remember, once this power is established by the executive branch, it's going to pass to the next president and the next president and the next president and just be expanded upon from there. That's why this is so dangerous. You guys are always like on board with this authoritarian stuff when it's your guy. But you'd be flipping out if Biden did this. If Biden tried to do this, you guys would be like, oh my gosh, Biden's trying to control us. He's going to do the federal police force, and this is martial law. You guys would be screaming at the top of your lungs, freaking the hell out and going crazy. But the fact that you're not doing it when Trump is doing it because he's your guy, that's concerning. And that's when people are talking about, oh, when your guy gets in, people just go to sleep. They're like, okay, whew, I voted, my guy got in, I can just relax, I don't have to do anything anymore. Whew. That is the danger of right and left politics, of being a Republican or a Democrat. Because when your Republicans pass these shitty-ass laws that further erode our Constitution, you're for it. But when it's the Democrats, you're against it. But the Democrats are for it. We have the Constitution is the only thing we have left to keep our freedom. It's it. It's our last bastion of hope. And it keeps eroding away more and more and more. And the Trump administration has proven to be nothing more than an authoritarian administration. We are co-opted by Israel. They're coming after us for our speech. There was actually a case recently where a woman ripped an Israeli flag from a woman's neck, which should be a misdemeanor, stealing or whatever, but because it was an Israeli flag and the judge ruled that because it had the Star of David on it, that it was a hate crime. So this is coming. They're saying, oh, we're going to put these things in place and go after the speech of people being anti-Semites that are not legal citizens. But have you guys not learned? Have you not learned that when they do that to target someone else, it always comes back to us? Remember the Patriot Act? They passed that to fight terrorism, right? And you know how many people have gone to jail without due process because of the Patriot Act? Still to this day, it gives them dictatorial-like powers over you. And I see so many on the right up in arms about the Patriot Act and up in arms about all of this legislation that's controlling. But then when it's like they sell it as, well, the police can't really do anything. The police have been co-opted, and there's the crime is out of control in these cities. We got to send in the feds, the federal police. Listen to yourselves. Just think. Just like try to think outside of your bias or outside of your love and love for Trump. Like try to think outside of that. Put the shoe on the other party. Like I said, imagine if it was Biden doing this. Take the exact same scenario, the exact same legislation, the exact same thing, and say exclusive. Biden admin to create nation's first ever National Guard response force to begin training troops for nationwide civil unrest, with some troops specialized in chemical, biological, and nuclear scenarios. Troops must be operational April 1st, 2026 per memo. If you saw that come from the Biden administration, what would you do? I'm telling you, you would flip the hell out. So you should be flipping out right now. There is no denying that tensions are escalating across the United States, with multiple standoffs happening between protesters, states, and the federal government. Well, according to a government memorandum exclusively disclosed to me by a source within the federal government, National Guardsmen in all 50 states and U.S. territories are set to begin training for potential mass civil unrest beginning this month. The memo lays out guidance for the formation of the National Guard Response Force, citing the executive order by President Donald Trump that deployed the D.C. Guard to crack down on the Capitol's crime as one reference for the NGRF's creation. The memo also directs for all NGRF components to be operational no later than April 1st, 2026, raising the question as to what the federal government believes might be in store this upcoming spring. The way this newly formed National Guard unit would work is, should a state NGRF unit be activated to respond to mass civil unrest, the goal is to have the entire unit, up to 500 members, be ready to deploy within 24 hours to a specific state location. It can currently take up to 72 hours for soldiers to be on the ground in cases of widespread riots. Most National Guardsmen are not currently trained for civil unrest scenarios. Troops part of the NGRF will be trained on how to respond to violent crowds and proper use of large crowds using batons and non-lethal weapons like tasers and OC spray. My sources also tell me the information of the unit like this is not normal and unusual, since soldiers who are a part of a different task force are apparently being reassigned to be part of the NGRF, with some of the troops being pulled into this new response force being specialized troops who have been trained in chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear incidents. To my knowledge, I have never seen an order like this before, the source explained, hoping this is only to be safe and precautious and none of this will be used in a real scenario. The source further added, in hopes we never have to activate or deploy these units across the nation due to potential civil unrest. When asked if NGRF's creation is simply in response to the current wave of unrest sparked by anti-ICE demonstrations and crime, my source believes that could be one reason, but adding, it also feels like leadership has intelligence or indications that something more significant could happen between January and May of 2026.
Hey guys, tell me what you think. I want to know what you think about this whole thing. Do you think it's a bigger plan and a setup for something bigger? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what you think. And also, don't forget this book. It will be in the bio, True Name of God and the Hidden Agenda. I'm telling you, it tells you about so many different things, whether it's the just things that tie into martial law and the digital ID, currency, end of cat. It's just so many different things. Book isn't very long. It's a good read and doesn't take up too much of your time, but you're going to gain so much wisdom from this. Pass it down to your kids so they can pass it down to their kids. It's definitely worth the read, and the link would be, again, in the bio. Okay, so again, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you get the book, please let me know what you think about this book. Very, very powerful. All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Be safe and blessings to everyone.